Hey, welcome back to the Famous Podcast. This is Brian.
This is Darryl.
And Darryl, did you know this is actually episode 506 because last week was episode 505?
You're telling me lies, telling me sweet little lies.
I know. So, anyway, before we get, I think we should just throw away the whole concept of the podcast. And we should just talk about how Sydney Sweeney broke the internet today.
Yeah, that ain't the only thing.
Did she break your zipper?
No. Quit being a perv. Jeez.
Wait a second. Let me go back to our chat.
I was talking about what she was doing for animals and stuff. Jeez. Break the stigma.
Dude, I gotta say, I love when there's a bunch of fours out there like, oh, she's not blah, blah, blah. And it's like, here's why I like Sydney Sweeney. I mean, she's very pretty, like absolutely 100%, right? But that girl goes after what she wants and she just makes it happen. She does it herself. Mm-hmm. She's literally the Thanos of the acting universe. She's like, fine, I'll do it myself. And then like launches a lingerie brand, makes a movie she wants to make, a couple of them, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like as they used to say, the girl's got moxie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I saw that, what was it? The Housemaid crossed 250.
Yeah. So that movie, that made a lot of money. So there's 3 books. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cause I just saw they're working on they're starting, the sequel already, or not starting it, but
yeah,
behind the scenes stuff.
I mean, I think after the first weekend they announced that they were going to do the sequel. So, did you see it yet?
I did not. It should be on streaming soon.
It was fun. It was a fun ass movie. Like, of the movies she did this year, because I watched that Americana one with her and Stingray and Simon Rex and Eric Dane, which I did find it pretty funny that she was in a movie with Eric Dane after being in Euphoria with Eric Dane. But that was pretty good. And she did a good job of that. She played a character that stuttered. But The Housemaid, I think, is like one of the best things like that. I think like Anyone But You, I think, is going to go down as like her star-making film. But, The Housemaid was great. And like Amanda Seyfried was great in it. The dude from the Hallmark Channel or whatever he was from, who was the husband, was good in it. So, but yeah, exciting. And then in sports news, because we can't not talk about sports anymore.
Yeah.
Let's just put it this way. The NFL Hall of Fame lost a ton of credibility today. And Bill Polian, if Robert Kraft was involved with this, as far as Bill Belichick not being a first ballot Hall of Famer. So there's only been 3 first ballot coach Hall of Fame people. Do you know who they are?
I do not. I'm assuming, what is his name? For the Cowboys. Was he one?
Jimmy Johnson?
Tom Landry.
So, it was Landry. It was, shit. Oh, God, now I don't remember. Anyway, the 3 of them have only won. Oh, it was Landry, the Steelers before Cowher. Was that Chuck Knowles?
Yes.
So it was Landry, Chuck Knowles, and then I forget someone else. Only won 2. Because Knowles had 4, Landry had 2. Anyway, combined, they have the same amount as Bill Belichick has. Because Bill Belichick won 6 as a head coach and 2 with the Giants.
Yeah, right.
And let's be honest, he easily could have had 10 because, neither of those Giants teams were good enough to actually like beat the Patriots other than the one night they beat the Patriots.
Right.
So yeah, it's just bullshit. Like, and like Bill Polian, who used to work for the Colts, I guess they're saying like he might be involved in all this. And if he is, just someone take him around back and put some humility into the guy. No, just put some humility into him. Like, it's like Benchwarmer Brand said, like, he spent 2 decades getting his ass kicked by Bill Belichick. So
I love what Jimmy Johnson has said about this. He said, I would like to know the name of the assholes who did not vote for him. They are too cowardly to identify themselves.
Right. So, and it's that whole thing. It's just that pussification of sports in general, right? It's like we were talking about baseball. You were talking about baseball before we started. Like, in my book, Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer before he even went to the Giants.
He had 8 straight Gold Gloves.
Yeah. Like, Roger Clemens was a Hall of Famer before he even went to the Yankees.
Yeah. But again, these bastards are gonna, try to stand on their quote unquote principle.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what the Hall of Fame's about.
No.
The Hall of Fame is about the best players.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is that Nolan Ryan, the greatest power pitcher ever, 7 no-hitters, 5,000 plus strikeouts, even 300 wins, an ERA under 3.5. Even he didn't get. There are 6 people that didn't put him on their ballot.
Yeah.
Hank Aaron, there were 9 people that didn't put him on their ballot.
I mean, it's like with Caitlin Clark in the WNBA with the Rookie of the Year. One person had to be that one person. Yeah. This is the problem with sports writers now, though, is like most of them are just former athletes, right? And so, most of them were high-level college, low-level pros. They definitely got pushed through school, just like Alvin Mack, not knowing how to read, and now they're expected to be able to have thoughts on things.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. It's frustrating in the sense of it should not be in the hands of people like this.
No,
like I'll just say it, because you have no integrity, and you're trying to show integrity, quote unquote, but you don't have integrity, because we've seen it before, and we've seen the excuses that these guys make. Like, well, I didn't put Nolan. One guy I remember saying he didn't put Nolan Ryan on his because he was thinking that if bottom of the 9th inning of the World Series, would I want Nolan Ryan to be on the mound for me? It's like,
yes,
dude, that's a guy who never saw like the highlights or never saw Nolan Ryan pitch in the 70s and 80s.
That would be like saying the same thing about Randy Johnson, right? Like either one of them could have thrown 150 pitches going into the 7th inning. Or 9th inning.
Nolan Ryan had a game. He had a game where he struck out 19 batters and walked 10 batters.
Yeah.
He had 12. I think he had 12 or 14 one-hitters.
Yeah.
And 7 no-hitters.
Greatest pitcher of all time.
Like, just stop it, guys.
And he took Robin Ventura to school when he rushed him on the mound and made him look like a tiny little bitch that Robin Ventura was.
That is still one of the funniest fights in baseball
when he
I've
gets
ever.
him in the headlock.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
And hearing Ventura talk about it, where he is like, what am I doing? I'm charging Nolan Ryan. And he is like, Nolan Ryan just grabbed me and just started going to town.
So what did we learn, Robin? Don't charge Nolan Ryan. Anyway, for Robin Ventura, he probably shouldn't be charging anybody, but that's neither here nor there. All right, let's hop right into it. So we have a news bite this week. I'll let you take this because I tried to start one of the books and I don't like it. So
well, how far did you get? Because I will say
I'm like an hour into it. Like,
oh, you're not into
like. Yeah, well, I get it. It's like 24
chapter.
hours long. So hold on, I'll tell you.
Oh, that's put it this way. The last book was like almost 50 hours or something like that.
See, I like that though. I like having a nice long book.
But so
the way it's 25 hours.
So what Brian's talking about is, and he sent this to me like right before we started from the Hollywood Reporter. Brandon Sanderson's literary fantasy universe Cosmere is picked up by Apple TV. So when you say Cosmere universe, Brandon Sanderson's writes in several different genres. He writes several different series, but all those series are connected by the Cosmere, and it's connected by what they call shards. And the main, not protagonist, but the main impetus behind the shards is a god named Adonasium, who was killed by his other gods and that, and then those shards went to different universes. What they're talking about here is his, probably I would say his two biggest, and that is the Mistborn series and the, as what Brian was talking about, the Way of Kings, which is called the Stormlight Archives. The Mistborn series, that was actually the first one I read, Brian, like several years ago. I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
know
the
any.
one I wanted to read, and I wasn't. I don't know. I was but I did read the one about the superheroes. That trilogy with the
What was that called? The Reckoners.
the
The Reckoner
Reckoners.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which I actually
Yeah.
kind of like. I didn't hate that. I liked it. It was like it was. I was happy to listen to all three books.
I thought it was very cool,
Yeah.
interesting because every superhero, because it's basically his version of superheroes, had a weakness based on a personality quirk,
Yeah.
which
And it was cool to
that I
find.
thought
You had
that
to
was really
find.
cool.
It was like their greatest fear or whatever it was. You had
Right.
to find that. That was interesting. Okay, so here's the interesting thing about this, and I'm just going to read the paragraph. The deal is a rare one, coming after a competitive situation which saw Sanderson meet with most of the studio heads in town. It gives the author rarefied control over the screen translations. According to sources, Sanderson will be the architect of the universe, will write, produce, and consult, and will have approvals. That's a level of involvement that not even J.K. Rowling's and George R. R. Martin enjoy. To be fair, I'm not. I don't know how many books J.K. has sold. I'm pretty sure it's a lot. Sanderson sold over 50 million copies of his books worldwide.
Yeah, and he also has the second biggest ever Kickstarter campaign of $42 million dollars.
It says here it's the biggest.
Well, it's the second biggest.
Okay.
It's behind I believe it was the what was it called? It was a 3D printer that beat him out by a couple million.
Oh, that Yuffie thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I mean, far and away, as far as from books, how books go, I mean, just because what he did in this, doing this, he completely just bypasses the publisher in this. Well, I mean, he
Well,
has
yeah.
his own publishing company with Dragonsteel Publishing, which kind of that, he has his own Dragon Con every year, which is fantasy convention that sells out every year.
Yeah.
Like this, I mean, so to see this, and my thing is it's from Apple TV, which we've talked about on this
Prestige.
show.
I mean, it's the new Prestige TV.
So much how good, even stuff that's not great, like the Foundation series. I still want to finish it. I didn't love it, but it looked incredible. The
It really
production
did,
value.
Yeah. Just a side note, George R. R. Martin has sold over 90 million total.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to take a guess on J.K. Rowling?
Is it 500 million?
600.
Okay.
Over 600. It says well over. Yeah. Anyway.
But like, so with this, the Mistborn series, it takes place in kind of like, I would say in like that 1800s, if it was our world, while the Way of Kings is more medieval. You have, there's, no hint of, industrial revolution in it, while the Mistborn series is right before, and then you get to another Mistborn, the second series in the Mistborn, which is, so what the article says is they're looking at the Mistborn series for movies, while the Stormlight Archives they're looking more for the television series, which works. Like, yes, of course, the Mistborn I think would work a little bit better as a series, just because you can get more in. But Mistborn books are not nearly as robust as the Stormlight Archive. So, Stormlight Archives, I don't think you could make a move, especially the last couple books. They're way too big.
Yeah.
So having them split like that, I think is brilliant, because you get the movie, but you also get the TV shows. He had been hinting for a while now, because he has his YouTube channel where he talks about stuff, and he had been keeping, I guess that's what this was. He's been keeping it kind of like under the radar. Really couldn't talk about it, but people would ask, because he takes questions, and like people write in questions about what, and he's like, he basically said, we're looking into stuff. Well, this is what he was looking into, and as a fan of his, this is great news. And plus that he's partnered with Apple TV,
Mm-hmm.
that he has total control over the creative. He gets approval, basically final approval of stuff. He's writing, producing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Consulting.
as a fan of his work, uh, I can't be happier with
Yeah.
this.
I feel like you need to meet him in real life and become friends with him, and then become like Lee Child's, the Reacher writer's son, who's taking over the books soon, moving forward, and just take over, and you can just write like Mistborn 2 Electric Boogaloo, and you know, Knights of the Old Mist Public.
Knights of the Old Rasharian Public, or Knights of the Rasharian Public.
Yeah. And just go from there. Anyway, but no, I thought you would enjoy this when I saw it. And I was like, oh, well, we have to talk about the things that Darryl loves. We gotta. So
Yeah, it's great. And as far as what you're saying, yes, the Way of Kings does start off pretty slow. I will absolutely give you that. But you should stick with it. Like when you get a chance, like if you're not listening to something else, or when you finish whatever you're listening to, give it a chance and just like power through book one. Because I will say it gets really good in book two and beyond. But yes, I can see why, because book one is a little bit slow, and there's a lot of going. I will say the one thing that I sometimes think he overindulges in with the Stormlight Archives is going back to the past with characters, because there's a lot of flashbacks. I mean, they're built in as like interludes, and sometimes they work, but other times it's like, you know what, this probably would have been better if we didn't know that. This works better with a little bit of mystery instead of knowing everything about why this character did this. So that's my one little gripe with his, especially as the books get bigger and you get more interludes, and it's like, I didn't really need to know this about this character.
yeah.
It's fine, but I didn't need to know it. Especially what was the last one, Wind and Truth. I was reading that and I said, yeah, you probably could have cut a couple hundred pages from this book,
Great.
because it's like 1,200 pages.
Is that like you could cut 45 minutes from a movie?
Yes.
Interesting.
I was thinking that while I was listening to the book, like, oh man, he could have cut like everything about this plot line.
He could have saved a week of my life. Anyway, yeah, no, that's awesome. Anyway, I'm really happy that this is happening for you. So
yeah, and I really like him. Like, there are some things he's done where I was a little bit, I'm not going to get into that, but overall, like, he seems like a really cool guy. Like, just hearing him talk, like, because I've even watched his lectures, because I think it's BYU. He's a creative writing teacher. So
is he Mormon?
Like, yes.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that.
Me
You learn
being
new things every day.
Yeah, me being a creative writing guy, I've listened to his lectures, taken notes on his lectures and stuff. So, I mean, he seems like a very personable, really personable guy.
Sure.
That you would like to talk to, especially about creative stuff and fantasy worlds.
Yeah, no, I can get that. I smell what you're cooking, as that douchebag might say.
As Dwayne used to say.
Anyway,
your favorite.
I mean, we all liked him back in the day, but then never meet your heroes. Anyway, yeah. So okay, moving on. Disney Plus, the Plus, if you will, launched a new series yesterday. They did a very rare thing for Disney. They dropped all 8 episodes of the series Wonderman. Not to be confused by the Tenacious D song Wonder Boy. But
or Boy Wonder.
Yeah. Anyway, I got something to send you later. So it is the story of Simon Williams, who is played by Black Manta.
Yahya
Abdul-Mateen. But
yeah.
I mean, everybody knows him as Black Manta. So I think he's been in a lot of stuff. Well, was he in 12 Years a Slave? What, he was in something. But it's now I'm curious. Oh,
You
he's
can
in
keep talking now.
Ambulance. Oh, I need to watch that. I've been wanting to
Oh,
watch
you
that
didn't
one.
watch that? Okay,
No,
yeah.
because that's with
That was pretty
50
good.
Cent and Jake Gyllenhaal. Oh, he was Morpheus. That's what he was in the Matrix Resurrection.
Ah, that's what it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was the nerdy beach sergeant in the Baywatch movie with Zac Efron.
I've blocked that out of my mind.
And he was in The Greatest Showman. God, this guy.
Candyman.
Yeah, he was Candyman, right?
Oh, yeah. Watchmen, too. Yeah.
Wait, he was in what? Wait,
The Watchmen TV show.
that's not listed here. Oh, wait, that's movies. That's why. Oh, was he? He was Dr. Manhattan. Yeah.
Yeah, he was also in that
Yeah, he needed to be
episode of,
wearing the eye white. He needed
Yeah.
to have So
he was also in that very questionable episode of Black Mirror with Anthony Mackie, too.
oh yeah, actually, like knowing what we know about Anthony Mackie, I'm not really questioning it anymore. Just saying, allegedly. Anyway. He's playing Denzel in Man on Fire.
Oh, yeah, the remake.
Crazy.
Or I don't know if that is supposed to be a show or
yeah, it's a show. It's
movie?
a show. It's a television series. Yeah. Anyway. So anyway, I will say this. The first episode is around him trying to, or he has this role as a day player on, like, I guess it's a vampire monster of the week type show.
It was American Horror Story.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I thought they said later. Oh, I guess it is. Never mind. I read that wrong. Anyway, so I gotta say, I really liked him in, like, the trailer, like, studying. And you know who he reminded me of a little bit as he was going through everything is Jordan the Stallion. Like I expected him to, like, put glasses on and throw them. Anyway, he just had, like, some of the same mannerisms, but I liked how they're walking, and the tram goes by and he goes, "Hey, they're going to the same spot," and the guy goes, "Day players don't get transportation," and it was like, what does it hurt to put him in the extra seat in the anyway? But then when he's on set, like. Honestly, I was surprised they let him stick around as long as they did, because he started giving the director notes, and he was like, "Oh, I loved all of your episodes of Sons of Anarchy. They were the best ones." And
and the actress was Ashley Greene from Twilight. He was like I loved you in Twilight.
Yeah. So, I did find that pretty funny. And then. I like the opening because he was at the movies with his dad, and they were eating popcorn and they were watching Wonderman on TV on the movie screen, and it's the song I'll see you, whatever, not that I'll see you, I'm gonna see you on the big screen, however it goes, the words are slipping my head, but, like, I loved that. Like, that was a great opening to the show, and then he gets fired and he's going home. And I love how he's walking up the steps, and he did the double take as the guys were walking by with his stuff. And, like, I was like, oh my God, that's his stuff and they're stealing it. And I was so wrong. It was his stuff, but his girlfriend was, like, moving out of their apartment. And I thought it was very appropriate when she unplugged the lamp. Like, that was a very definitive, like, this is an end. Like, done. Yeah. The light is out. So.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to use this again when we talk about another show, but I find him, Simon Williams, he came across for me as a very earnest character, but who can't get out of his own head. And I'm trying to, because I watched the first 5 episodes, so I'm trying to kind of keep it to this. And I thought it really reminded me of, like, the first episode. Mm-hmm. Like, just, I really liked him right away. And I don't always do that. Even with characters I like, I don't always attach to them right away like I did with this character. And then, like I said, when we talk about the other show, just attach to them right away. It's like, oh man, this character is there's something about him that you're rooting for him right away.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you're like, dude, like you can't get out of your own way.
Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. You did all this thought to this character, but just rein it back a little bit. So, yeah, and we also get a return of Trevor Slattery,
Yep.
Sir Ben Kingsley, which is so funny. And again, this is not like this is small spoilers, but throughout the series, you'll hear people say, "Weren't you the Mandarin?"
Yeah.
And I will say one of the most disappointing things of the MCU is getting Sir Ben Kingsley teasing us with this great character and then having
Yeah.
the rug pulled out from under us in a very implicitly graphic way.
Yeah.
But I do like that because he was in Shang-Chi and I think they really redeemed him in Shang-Chi. And this show I think redeems him even more. Again, still not a fan of what they did to him with him in Iron Man 3, but for the way they pivoted, I mean, because again, he is great in this show. It's almost like this buddy movie, like buddy comedy movie.
Well, that's where it seems to be going because
Yeah.
especially when he pulls him into the bathroom and asks him for advice because he put notes on the script already, like he didn't learn his lesson, and
Right.
and he's like, just take a deep breath and let all your air out, and then let instinct kick in because you can't breathe or whatever it was, and but that goes into my whole thing. Like these people are husks. They just should do what they do what they're told. They read the words, they do it the way they're told to do it, and they're successful. It's when they start to have thoughts of their own, that's when they get into trouble.
Well, I will say this, it's good for them to have thoughts of their own because again, you just talked about Sydney Sweeney. The thing is, Hollywood doesn't want them to have thoughts of their own, and a lot of people are fine going along with that.
Yeah, true.
But then there are those that don't necessarily go and do their own thing, which I do appreciate. I just, and not to get too far, I just don't appreciate being talked to like more than us because you don't. That's what it's the preaching that bugs me about people. Well, whether it be Hollywood, whether it be entertainers, whether it be sports figures, it doesn't matter whether it be politicians. But again, back to Wonderman. I mean, I really liked how, and again, this is the other thing. This is unlike any other of these Marvel shows that we've seen. It has its own like energy about it. It's that
I agree.
It's a breath of fresh air, to be honest, because
I was caught thinking like, this would be a good show, or this was a good episode of television, like if it's just about a struggling actor trying to find a job.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
And that's getting back to like The Winter Soldier was a great spy movie.
Yes.
You take out all the superhero stuff, it's still a great spy movie. Like, you have the Manchurian Candidate Bucky like type character coming to fight the good guy spy Captain America with the ingenue Black Widow. Like it's a formula that works.
Yeah.
Like he used up all his creativity with this, but like James Gunn with like the first Guardians movie, it's just a great space opera.
Yeah. And I like the slow building of seeing they tease, his power. And
wait, do we have to beware his power? Or is that wait, no, that's a different show. My
that's
bad.
the wrong one.
My bad.
And I think I told you this, like I was actually a fan of Wonderman and Simon Williams in the comics, like back in the day, which is like weird because he was such a out of the way character. I liked his design, but I loved the way they did his eyes in the comics. It almost looked like galaxies, like that swirled around, which I thought was always cool. And I was one of those that let's put it this: I don't like when they do the changing casting, whether it be race or gender. That does not mean it doesn't work, because we've talked about going back to The Boys when they changed Storm. What's her name?
Stormfront.
Stormfront. it really worked.
Oh yeah.
And Aya Cash was great.
Just because partly because Aya Cash is such an amazing actress.
Yeah. And again, this is a race swap with Simon Williams, but Yahya, he's just they've done it. They made it such a personal show. And again, I'm working through past, the like not spoiler wise, because they keep the momentum of, being this personal story, like you said. Like, you're talking about, how we, the movies watching with his father. Well, they go to, you'll see where they go, you meet other parts of his family, and it really makes it personable. And, that's what I really like. Like you said, even if they took out the powers, even if they took out the the relation to the MCU or the damage control or the Marvel universe, I would be captive. I would be fast. I would be interested in this show because of what the personal story of Simon Williams, and like I say, I call him Yahya, like we're buddies. What he brings to the screen, and it helps that you have Sir Ben Kingsley just killing it as Trevor Slattery as well. But that's the story I want. This is one of those where, yes, I want to see his powers, but that's like secondary and tertiary to me. Like it's good, it's cool to see, but it's more about the story of Simon Williams trying to get to something that he's wanted his whole life.
Yeah, that makes sense. I realize I forgot to put the. All right, so out of 5, here's your note. Here's a note for you. Get Out. What do you give this?
For this one, I give it a 3.75 out of 5. I just had it was just, and again, these aren't long. They're like 30 minutes. A couple of them, I think, early are 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yeah, it says 26 to 38 minutes. So
yeah, but I'm just there's something about this character, I attached to like almost immediately, and that didn't change as I watched. Like I said, I watched the first 5 episodes thus far, and it just stayed there. I really want to finish it up just to see if it keeps that momentum. There was a little dip in one episode I didn't like, but like just by the first episode, 3.75 out of 5.
Cool. I give it actually a 3.8 out of 5.
Oh, look at you!
So I thoroughly enjoyed this. I thought it was pretty darn good, and I'm excited to have the commercial-free plan reinstated so I can watch more.
I'll do that after we get off. After we're done.
I almost called you.
I absolutely would have done it today, but then I got on my laptop and I had it on while I was doing some work, and I was like, oh, it's not doing it's automatically ad skipping. So
oh, nice.
So I was like, I'll get it later. And I didn't think about you. I didn't know you were going to watch it today. That's hilarious.
I watched it while I was cooking dinner. So
okay. That is funny.
Anyway, yeah, it was just one of those things. I was like, oh yeah, this is on, and because like I don't know, I've been catching up on Fallout. I got to rewatch the one we watched last night because I kind of dozed off. And there's a new episode that came out today. So
yeah, I need to finish Fallout, watch Fallout,
but
for next week.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things. Sorry, but yeah. Yeah, so
yeah, I'm looking
definitely
forward to
check this
finishing
show
it.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's got, like I said at the beginning, it's 8 episodes. They're all out, so which is very rare for Disney to do. So, actually, the only other show they've done it with was Echo.
What?
Yeah. Wait, did they release Lionheart or not Lionheart?
Ironheart. They did that with Ironheart too. Yeah.
So those two.
I think
Okay, that's weird. If it wasn't for Virtue Signal and the Neutered Soldier, you could be like, Disney's so racist. They only put the actors of color shows all out at once because I don't think anyone will watch them.
Well, the difference is this one's actually good.
Yeah. Anyway, so, um, but yeah. All right. So after that horrible joke, let's move on. So we've got Game of Thrones back in our life. The first of two Game of Thrones series this year. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
Okay.
What? That's how Duncan sounds. Old Dunk the Lunk, thick as a castle wall. All right. So I watched the first episode of this and I was like, oh, this is a book. It's on Audible, I'm sure. And it was free. They gave it away for free. So I definitely got it. And I definitely listened to all of it in 2 days. It's not very long. And I listened to everything it's like 9 hours, maybe 10. And I listened to everything at almost 2 times speed. So
I every now and then just like I'll go back and like something I'm listening to and I'll put it at 1 speed, like at normal speed. And I'm like, there's literally no way I can listen to this. It's so slow.
Dude, I have trouble doing YouTube videos at normal speed, but if you turn up the speed, it loses cohesion with the mouth. So
right, yeah.
And that drives me insane. But
yes.
I will say this. 1.25 to 1.5 just makes everything sound more exciting.
100%.
So, anyway, all right. So A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is the story of Duncan the Tall and a young. I mean, it's not really a spoiler. Young the once and future king Aegon Targaryen, the fifth of his name.
Yes.
The first episode was great. I was sitting there watching this and I'm like, man, Peter Caffley is killing it as Sir Duncan the Tall, right? And then we meet Dexter Soul Ansel as Egg. And this little guy, all right, one, how did you guys miss this kid for Aang? Like, seriously, like how? This kid can act, he's personable, he's funny, he's got like, when Dunk's like, could you tie up my horse? I could. If I wanted to. Like, just the attitude there. I'm like, this is my favorite character on the show. Hands down. There's no one who's going to unseat him until, we meet the Laughing Storm. But, my God, I loved him. So, anyway. So, Duncan is the squire for Sir Arlen of Pennytree. And, Sir Arlen dies. Dunk takes his sword and his shield and his 3 horses, and he goes to the town of Ashford, where he's threatened with the Ashford chair. Watch the show.
Oh my God!
You find out what that is yourself. For the tourney, on his way there, he meets a young child who asks if he could be his squire. And my favorite thing about this is he's like, "You don't look like a knight." And he goes, "Oh, do you know a lot of knights?" And he's like, "All the great ones." And
yeah.
And like, obviously, like having read a wiki of Ice and Fire from, pillar to post, like I knew the story. I just never read the book. So I didn't have like some of the context and everything. But as soon as he said that, I just started laughing, just immediately laughing. But yeah, so Dunk is a hedge knight. And so hedge knights are littered throughout the Game of Thrones mythos. A lot of hedge knights like to say that they're the only true knights because they're not bound to anything other than doing good. Yet a large number of hedge knights are robbers and, just malcontents and end up at the wall.
Yeah. The one thing about this show, like you get right away, is that this is not the House of the Dragon. This is not Game of Thrones in the tone.
Mm-hmm.
And Now, that doesn't mean there's not serious aspects, especially as we talk a little bit more about episode two.
Yeah.
You get a little bit more serious, but it has a much lighter tone. Now, that doesn't mean that Game of Thrones especially had some moments of levity in it, but not like not like the first two scenes, not like the first scene of either one of these episodes, where it's like, oh, you're doing that. Oh, okay.
The fact that you texted me as you were watching the second episode, less than 3 minutes into the episode, I was like, oh, you're in for it.
I actually had to watch a couple people's reactions to that, and they were hilarious. Like, just the eyeballs, like, what are we watching? Like, oh my goodness. But I immediately, well, I won't say immediately because, after he did his little duties, but once you, like you were talking about Claffey, like he is, and this is what I was talking about when we were talking about Wonderman. The first word I thought about, like after watching him for 5 minutes, like this guy is so earnest. Like he wants to do good. Like he doesn't have ulterior motives or anything like that.
That we know of yet, which is the great part about it.
He's not the brightest guy, but he wants to do good because he has an image of what a hedge knight or what a knight is supposed to be by Sir Arlen, what Sir Arlen taught him. And he wants to be that picture perfect knight.
Well, he wants more than anything someone to remember Sir Arlen too.
Yes.
And
we don't get to that until later.
Well, I mean, but like, even before we get to that, but like he's trying to get legitimized.
Yeah, so he's trying to get legitimized, and he doesn't come to that realization of what you just said until he's talking to all these individuals that and again, I guess it's like the real world. It is like the real world. Game of Thrones is littered with, if you have kids, cover their ears. They're littered with cunts. Like, to be honest, there are a lot of asshats in the world of Westeros, and that goes for House of the Dragon. That goes for the original Game of Thrones. I mean, let's be honest, it wasn't Jaime Lannister was the original asshat that we met.
Right. And let's be honest, Rhaenyra Targaryen is the biggest one in all of the shows. Or Rhaenyra.
Yes.
Sorry. No.
Rhaenyra.
Yeah, Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra was awesome. So.
Yeah. But yeah, it's, and like you said, with Egg, their chemistry and their back and forth is just so, like, you will do this unless you want to clot in the ear.
Yeah. Yeah, the clot in the ear threat was probably one of my favorite things, and like, it's slowly working its way into my vocabulary. I'll give you a clot in the ear, but yeah,
but it really takes off when, and this is before when he gets to Ashford, when he runs into Lionel Baratheon.
Well, hold on. Before that, he gets he sees a guy practicing in the yard, and it's Sir Stephen of Fossaway and his squire cousin Raymond Fossaway, and he's watching them fight, and then Raymond is like, "Go ahead. Hurt him, please."
Yeah.
And Dunk's like, "Oh no, I wouldn't. No, thank you."
Yeah.
And then Raymond takes him to see a puppet show, and then Raymond takes him into a random tent to eat, and then disappears.
Yeah, he's like, oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah. So all right, and then we get
Lionel Baratheon,
the Laughing Storm.
Yeah, the Laughing Storm.
That's his name.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome though. But I love their initial reaction, and it reminded me of, well, their initial reaction where he says, he has this like, are you, where big men are hit more than little men. Is that why you slouch? He's like, I don't slouch. He's like, you're tall, be tall. And then he asks why he's here. And then Duncan's
No. What does he tell him if he's not going to be tall?
Oh yeah, I'll burn you as a heretic.
He'll,
And
he'll
all that
burn you
stuff.
as a heretic or hang you
But
or throw you off a cliff. What is
yeah,
it that we do
but
about a heretic again? That was a great line. Anyway, sorry.
so okay. But anyway, like their interactions with each other, it reminded me, and then with the dance and everything, it remind because he asked him like, "Do you dance?" And it reminded me of I was waiting for one of them to say, or well, Lionel, of course, not Dunk, but Lionel to say, "Did we just become best friends?"
Right.
Like
Right.
because there's a connection right away between those two, and you actually get a really good moment afterwards after the dance where they're talking and Dunk is talking about he's basically talking about how he has anxiety and because he's like my worries are this and then I worry about my worries and then it keeps going and he talks about yes, I'm big and strong and fast, but so are you, and you have all this training, and what chance do I have?
Yeah.
And he's like,
And
you really don't.
if
But
you're,
he said,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
but he's like, you don't. But he's like, it's good to challenge, you know, basically to challenge someone.
Right.
And he was like, and I love the line where he was like, he's talking about he's talking to Lionel about what Lionel has done. And he asked Lionel, weren't you scared? And he was like, in every man, there are many men, which I mean, I love that philosophy. And that's because it's true. We have a bunch of different things within us, depending on the situation, depending on what we are at the time, how we're feeling at the time. It's like, when you say, be 1% better
Right.
than you were the day before. And just that moment of seriousness, I think it was because this is one of those shows because it could get away from them if there weren't more deft writers and who knew how to balance that comedy, that levity,
Yeah.
that lighthearted tone with the little moments of seriousness, with the little moments of where you show the characters having doubts, or as we see in episode 2, when they use the motivations to steel themselves on what they want to do, what they need to do. And that's why this episode, and then after that, he runs into Egg at his camp where, he's cleaned, he's washed for him. He's
before
groomed
we
the
get
horses.
to Egg real quick, Lionel is played by Daniel Ings, who is from the TV show The Gentleman. He was Freddy,
Yes.
the completely irresponsible, unreliable.
Oh my gosh. Which
Just
that par for the course.
Liability in the backfield, brother. So, because when he showed up, it's like I was like, why do I know him? And he's got so much Oscar Isaac energy going on. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm super excited. Now, back to the camp. He shows up, Egg is there, and go.
Well, and Egg is, and this is another like really good tender moment after he's like, dude, what are you doing here? How did you get here? He's like, yeah, I've done this, I've done that. Oh yeah, I made the fish. He's like, where did you get fish? I caught it. And because Egg wants to be, obviously we mentioned before, Egg wants to be a squire. And finally, Dunk says, he says the words of like of kind of like you have my hearth and home. He's like there'll always be food on your plate, always be clothes on your back, and stuff, and I will treat you well. I won't beat you unless you deserve it or something. Like he had to throw that in,
Right.
which is great.
Yeah.
And then there's that moment when they're laying down. And one of the first things that Egg told him, he was like, yeah, I wanted to put your, basically the tent. What is it? What do they
His
call
pavilion.
the tent?
He's like, I was looking
Pavilion.
for your pavilion, sir, but I couldn't find one.
So that comes back afterwards where they're going to sleep. And he's like, all these people looking up at Silk and we have the stars.
Yeah.
And, there's that wishing or the falling star or shooting star. And after he says that, I love when Dunk's like, go to sleep. And then he says, so the star is all our own. And it's something a kid would say.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so touching because it's this big, massive dude, and he's so vulnerable at times, like because he doesn't know enough about, and we see as episode 2 moves along, he he gets a taste of what it's like in this world. Because, and again,
All
going
right, so
back, you know,
before we get to episode 2, let's
yeah,
real quick. Out of 5 Footloose and Stompy Free Dances, what do you give this one?
4.1 out of 5. I just right away I really like this show.
Yeah.
And again, because of the characters,
Yeah.
because of Dunk, and then Egg, and then Lionel, and just it's a very simple story at first, but you know it opens itself for complexity as we go along.
Right.
And I just really like the writing of the show, the chemistry between the Coffee and the kid, which I know you said his name just slipped my mind.
Soul. What was it? Dexter Soul Ansel. Oh, are you dying? Are you okay?
Yes. What did you give it?
Oh, I gave it a 4.15. Again, more positive than you. I'm the positive one now. Imagine me pointing my fingers at you like Captain Phillips.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, no, I like, I was, you know, when he met Egg outside the tavern, and Egg just immediately gave him guff, I was all in. Like at that point, I was like, I want to watch more of this show. I don't know if this is going to be good or if I'm going to like it, but I am committed to watching more of this show. What?
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the second episode. Hard salt beef. So salt beef and salt fish is the main dietary staple of a hedge knight, apparently. So
a lot of sodium.
But that's good for staying hydrated and when you're on the road. So it opens with Sir Arlen showing his special purpose.
That was one of the biggest WTF moments in the history of Westeros.
Right? Hey, there was a mini affair maid who got destroyed by that monster.
And it wasn't like it was a quick shot either. I mean, that was gratuitous.
Yeah. It was like Dirk Diggler at the end of Boogie Nights. I'm a star. He's like, he gets up every morning, looks in the mirror and goes, I'm a knight, or I'm a sir. Anyway. Yeah, so Dunk is eulogizing Arlen to different participants of the tournament, trying to get someone to remember him. Trying to get the people who Sir Arlen served to remember him. When he sees the Targaryen progression arrive through Baelor, Maekar, and Aeron. How do I say Arion? Anyway, Arion. Thank you. Maekar, by the way, is Egg's dad. And it's great because Sir Roland Craighall and Sir Donald of Duskendale. Duskendale comes up a lot. And I don't know if you remember the first episode, they talked about Florian the Clown, Florian of Duskendale, the jester, who, if you remember, Joffrey had his own Florian of Duskendale clown.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, but so they're members of the Kingsguard, and just that whole interaction. And when he was like, "This is my sword by right," and he's like, "That's a weird thing to say."
Yeah.
And they just had no idea how to deal with him.
It's like, and the guy says, like, tell me, do you ride your horse into battle, or does your horse ride you?
Yeah. So that was good. And then I like the kid. He's like, "Are you Maekar or Aerion Targaryen?" No. Then get the fuck out of the way.
But yeah.
Oh man. So in this episode, he is going around and trying to see, I'm trying to keep the book straight, like from everything.
Yeah, that's
So him and Egg are going around. He has his own coat of arms painted by Tansel Too Tall, who is the one of the performers in the play about Florian the Fool. And Dunk is in love with her. And I will say this from the books, he is never not in love with her again for the rest of the books.
well, and again, you see that in the first episode before he even talks stories. He goes into that was one of the tents that he goes into
Yeah.
before meeting Lionel, and the way he looks at her, and yeah, this doesn't change.
They call me Tansel Too Tall. Well, you're not too tall for me.
Yeah, you're just tall
Dunk.
enough to.
You can't say that out loud. So,
But with
yeah.
but going back to the Targaryens, he again, that's when we find out that Makor's sons. It's what is the second son's name? So it's Aegon and Terran that they're missing, and he finds his chance to see if Baelor, who is actually comes across as a decent, because he's the hand of the king. He's the second in line of first in line for the throne, I should say. And he comes across that Baelor knew who Arlen of Pennytree was.
Yep.
And watching their interaction is because you have Makor who's he's another asshat, which granted, his sons are missing, but I think he's just like that anyway. He has the look of one.
Yeah.
But that's when finally we get someone who remembers Arlen. And that in itself being able, and one, it gives Dunk the chance to get in the list. Now he does need and this is where Tansel, you were talking about the coat of arms. He has to, because he is not blood relative of Arlen, he has to get his own coat of arms.
Right.
But that scene, I think that scene helps him because Baelor comes across as what Dunk would think of, being a noble and honorable gentleman, a knight, even though, he's a lord, hand of the king and all that stuff. But he gets the opportunity there to, well, I'm in the list now. Now what do I have to do? And that's where, because he still needs arms and armor.
Yeah, he goes to Steely Pate, and who's the blacksmith. He sells one of his 3 horses. He does what he has to do to get armored, and get ready for the tourney. And it's funny because like they're like, he's like, I mean to be a champion, and they're like, well, everybody means to be a champion, homie. So
yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool to see the jousting at the end of the episode.
Well done.
It was so well done. And like you always think of jousting as like one-on-one through like, on the jousting course. And it wasn't. It was like 3 jousting bouts going on in unison at the same time. And it was so frenetic and so, I mean, God, I use that word a lot now. It was so frenetic, but like watching Egg and like the bloodlust that Egg had was great. And watching Duncan like realize what he's getting himself into, and then getting the bloodlust along with Egg was great. But the jousting itself was really, really, really excellent.
I agree. I thought it was so well shot and like everything about that scene. Because like you said, it was, I mean, that was melee city right there. Like in the sense of not a legit melee, but just like bedlam, I would call it actually.
Right. And this kid, his name is Ira Parker, who's the showrunner. Like, I say he's a kid. I have no idea how old he is. He just looks like a kid in the post episode.
He does.
Dude,
yeah, he absolutely does.
He's a fucking weirdo in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Like, he loves this shit. He's into it. He wants to make it the best thing that he can do, and he understands it.
I don't know
Danny
why.
Villeneuve, we're looking at you, motherfucker.
I
Anyway,
don't know why, but this guy, he reminds me a bit like he has a Paul Dano energy about him.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, he's got a little Paul Dano. He's got like a '90s MTV VJ vibe to him a little bit too. But yeah, I just I think one of the things about this episode is, and especially having read the book, I would have liked some more of these scenes to breathe. And,
Yes.
it wasn't like a super long episode. None of these episodes are super long.
No.
I mean, they're 35 minutes to 42 minutes, but I mean, I don't know if that's runtime, but it felt like it was way shorter than that. But like, there are scenes that I would have liked for them to breathe a little bit. Like when Dunk is like sneaking around the castle, and overhears, like when he's looking for Balon, or Baylor, sorry. It's just that the Steely Pate, I would have liked a little more with him. I think that would have been helpful. And then Egg not wanting to go to the castle, but also like more of him and Egg together. We did not talk about the tug of war scene.
Well, it was yeah, the Lionel's bit part in this
Yeah.
episode, which again, I think we got enough of him, even though I kind of want more of him in this episode, but he was in it.
Oh, chef's kiss him out.
Yes. Yes.
So, but
Yes, the tug of war's going on, and he's like, "I'll be right back. I'm thirsty."
he goes and gets some wine. He smacks Dunk on the butt.
Like,
Yeah. Anyway. All right. So this was another good one. But so out of 5, 2 tall girls paint the best shields. What
and
do you
just
give
the right
this one?
size. 4 out of 5. Again,
Yeah.
I really like how, like I said, how they balance, the lightheartedness with those snippets of seriousness, the Game of Thrones stuff, but also character, and especially at the end because Dunk is serious when he says, these people didn't know him.
Right.
I'm going to show them what his hand has wrought.
Yeah.
And on that, like a perfect ending for this episode. So 4 out of 5. Again, 2 really really good episodes to start this.
Yeah.
This short series.
Yeah. So honestly, like I kind of hope they do like all 3 books or all 3 novellas as individual 6-episode seasons. That'd be great because there's time jumps.
Yeah.
But I also gave this a 4 out of 5. It's funny because we know who Sir Duncan the Tall is and we know what he becomes. So getting to see him as a fledgling knight who's never really been knighted, I think is a really interesting it's just a really interesting story. And I like it because we know he becomes, because like obviously in Game of Thrones and I think in House of the Dragon too, they talk about him. But I know
No, this takes place after House of the Dragon.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Sorry. You're right. It's 100 years after that, and then 100 years before. Anyway, but yeah, so it's we know he becomes a commander of the Night's Watch, because Aegon the Fifth of his name becomes the king. But it's refreshing to see like an actual good knight, knowing he grows to become a great knight and a better man.
Yes.
So I'm excited for the rest of this season.
Yeah, I really like what we've gotten here.
Yeah.
And like you said, like the one like kind of little nitpick I have is that I do want some of this stuff to be a little bit more complete, or like you said, have the scenes breathe, certain scenes breathe a little bit more. I mean that's a small nitpick.
Yeah.
But I mean if I'm gonna say if there's one thing I have an issue with, it would be that.
I will say I'm super excited for episode 4. The title is 7. Knowing what's going to happen in this episode and what we saw with the jousting, I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked for that episode.
I mean, this also makes me want to go back and reread because I read this series or this book like 2-3 years ago maybe. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of stuff that like I it's like very fuzzy. It's not it's not first in my mind. I do want to go back and read some of the stuff that because I do remember some things like about the castle. You'll probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm very interested to see where this series goes. Not just for this season, but it's so well done. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know we're only 2 episodes in, but it's so I don't think they're going to fumble the bag.
I don't think so either. And plus, like Ira Parker has writing credits on every episode, and the directors are Owen Harris and Sarah Adina Smith, who let's just take a quick look. Have done a lot of TV. Oh, interesting. Owen Harris did the Brave New World pilot for Peacock. Oh, he did Mrs. Davis too. Did you watch that one?
I never watched that.
That was interesting. He did San Junipero, the episode for Black Mirror, which a lot of people say that's the best episode of Black Mirror. And then Sarah Adina Smith, short films. Let's see. She's done a couple. Oh, she did The Drop. Nice. The Drop on Hulu was a good one. Anyway. And then, she did an episode of Legion. So, yeah. Anyway. I think they have a good creative team here. And I like, again, that Ira Parker is involved with every episode. So.
Yeah. Yeah. The one of the things I'll say, like, I'll end this with not just, like, for this show, but with Wonderman 2 is that, we're always looking for good stuff, and thus far, and again, like we haven't even talked about Fallout this year yet.
Not yet, but we're gonna get there.
I know, but what I'm saying is
it's been really good.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is like this is only January, and I mean next week will be February, obviously, and I know Fallout started at the end of December, but like still, most of the episodes are 2026. This is a way to start a year with these shows that are, and again, I'm not even talking about Landman that ended because I haven't even started season 2 yet. Mm-hmm. There is, if this is how 2026 is going to be, to add on to what we were talking about movies that we were like anticipating, this is going to be a good year for entertainment. For movies and shows.
Right. Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, we will be smothered in riches. So
an embarrassment of
wealth and riches. Anyway. All right. Yes. On that note, Darryl, what do you have to add? Last words. What do you want on your tombstone?
Pepperoni Old World, please. No. My biggest surprise so far is Wonderman and how much I've enjoyed it. I have a distaste for what they've done in the MCU for the most part since Endgame, for the most part, with exceptions.
Since Infinity War.
I really like what they've done with this show. And like I said, I'm through the first 5 of 8 episodes. I really hope the last 3 knock it out of the park because I'm having a blast with what I've seen so far.
I'll say this. We got 2 shows with really good first episodes. Really good first episodes. And they did their job. So hopefully the rest of, the 6 episodes and the 8 episodes respectively live up to the promise. So anyway. All right. On that note, Darryl, we will be back next week. Have a great one. Remember to watch the Royal Rumble. It's on at 2 p.m. on Saturday. from Riyadh, as it is Riyadh season. If you're E-drone, you know what that means. Anyway, on that note, remember, be infamous. The Infamous Podcast is recorded in Kings Mills, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati. You can find new episodes every Sunday on Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcast, our website, or anywhere podcasts are downloaded. This show is hosted by Darryl Jasper and me, Brian Tudor. To find more information about the show, visit us at infamouspodcast.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Infamous Podcast to keep up with the show. We also have a Patreon page, patreon.com/infamouspodcast. We have some great rewards for our patrons and are looking for help to grow the show to bring you more of the content you want to hear. Music for this podcast is provided by Michael Henry from meetmichaelhenry.com. So, whenever you're listening to us, have a great day, night, evening, weekend, whenever it is, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.